So both of the films today have a bit of a theme.
Mhm.
So if you're at school and you're coming to the end of your time at the school, say you're in your last year, you're going to do your final exam, which, as I said, came out in 1981 and is directed by Jimmy Huston, who this is apparently not his most popular film. According to Letterboxd, his most popular film is called My Best Friend is a Vampire, which is a horror comedy from 1987. Probably won't be watching that after this. And as always, Ria is going to give you the very thin story of Final Exam.
Yeah. So the synopsis is, an unknown nameless psycho killer shows up on a college campus to slash up pretty co-eds and dumb jocks on the final day of exams. I mean, yeah, it's basic. I feel like this is one of those slasher movies that's like about teenagers, for teenagers to watch, and there's not a lot to it. I mean, the good thing about this is that it's like an 80s time capsule, really. And like the best thing about probably these two movies is like the 80s style, the music, the hair, you know, in this film, mainly the hair, you know.
All right, okay. I mean, we've all got to grab onto like some little things, I guess, to kind of get by. Yeah.
I mean, both of these movies, and obviously we'll talk about the second one later, are like so cheesy, so ridiculously cheesy. Yeah, it's off the scale.
Pretty much, yeah. I would say the next film is more cheesy.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got to be honest, I just found this film a bit boring for the most part.
It is
not a lot going on, bar a couple of things.
I think there's like an entire hour where nobody gets killed.
Yeah.
And then suddenly everybody gets killed after that. It's like, how is that?
Pacing is so bad in this film.
Yeah, it's terrible. And like initially I was like, oh wow, this film's got two characters in it called Radish and Wildman. Like, count me in. But then, yeah, it's really not as good as it sounds.
Yeah. So as you brought that up, yeah, let's talk about it. So yes, there is a character called Wildman. That is his actual name. And yeah, that character is basically just a stereotypical kind of dumb jock guy who just wants to party all the time. He's in this fraternity as well, which is sort of the center of the film. So basically, culturally at this point, the early 80s is known for two things. It's known for slasher films and it's known for sort of films like Porky's.
Yeah.
And before this, obviously, you had National Lampoon's Animal House, which is all about fraternities. And so this is kind of bled into this film. So this film is a very blatant rip-off of Halloween, especially in certain bits that we'll talk about.
Yeah.
And yeah, the whole fraternity storyline comes from National Lampoon's Animal House. So yeah, you have this guy who's clearly meant to be like the John Belushi of this film, where it's like, yeah, he just wants to party. But yeah, this character has nothing to him at all. If I look at The Burning, let's mention The Burning again 3 times if you're keeping count. The jock character in that is Glazer. He's got way more to him, and it's not a deep character at all by any means, but the character is a lot more likable, and you can kind of feel something. This character just not even that important a character, but yeah, just pretty poor.
Well, the kind of level of like filmmaking, it feels a bit like a Hallmark type movie, doesn't it? Like this kind of tranquil music and like piano music and
very soap opera-y.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. The other character, which is given some kind of depth, is Radish. As you mentioned, what a name, by the way.
Cool name, though.
Fucking Radish. So what is it with these films and the names? Like in the last show, we had like John and Bob. And in this film, we have Radish.
Yeah.
And he is, I guess, the closest thing to an actual sort of developed character in this film. Not in the terms of like anything that happens to him, but it's like, oh, he's a bit of a nerd. He is, you know, if he was in a film in 2025, he'd have his own true crime podcast.
Yeah.
About serial killers, or he'd be a massive incel. He'd be on like 4chan or something like that. He'd go that direction. But yeah, in this film, he's a geek. He's sort of bullied, but not properly bullied. He's kind of get hazed a little bit by like the jocks, and he's a bit of a gimpy nerd. I'll just say that. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's like college American college, which is university age for us, isn't it? Because we're British and it's different here. But yeah, there's a hell of a lot of cliches in this. I mean, all the sort of slasher rules that you shouldn't, things that you shouldn't do that they now sort of poke fun at in joke slasher movies. All the usual tropes are in here. So like, people that have sex will die. You know, if you go into the woods, you will die. If you're in a soft top convertible and you're making out with your girlfriend, you're going to die.
If you go in a room and there's no one there and you just start shouting people's names randomly, like you will die or there will be a jump scare.
Yeah. If you go into the basement and you're looking around, you're definitely going to die.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's so bad.
So there's a lot of that.
Yeah. And it's not just the guys who have shady kind of characters. So the female characters aren't exactly given a lot of depth either. So you have the final girl who is an old school final girl, I would say, because this ain't no girl boss final girl, I'll tell you that. This is sort of some, nice girl, just wants to study and is basically in the last sort of 15 minutes just total like damsel in distress, kind of can't really protect herself, kind of just needs to run away until she's able to kill our killer, who I'll get onto in a sec.
And there's a lot of this one wouldn't be depicted now. Maybe it would, but in a bad way. But there's a lot of kind of like positive depiction of that it's okay to be really flirty between teachers and students.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of seedy behaviour in both movies.
Yeah. I know. It's a different time, shall we say, because, like you said, in both films, there's examples of like these much older guys essentially kind of having
young
inappropriate relations with their students who are much younger than them.
And they all have wives at home cheating on them and they talk about it as well. In fact, one of them, like, this is a direct quote, says, I love that the sweet young girls that throw themselves at me. And then she says something to him like, it's your last chance for some nice firm flesh for a while. And she points out that his sagging old wife is almost 30.
Oh, no.
Ancient.
Yeah, fucking like decrepit wife at home. Jesus Christ, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it's just so bad.
One of them also says that he basically accepts bribes, like... Did you notice that bit where he says, oh, for the right price I would show you the test paper so you can cheat, and it's like, holy shit.
I mean, I don't think this is meant to be like an actual proper example of like the college system in America. But, it's
very over the top.
Yeah, the secondary characters in this, they're mostly Southern. So it's hilarious. You've got this town sheriff who's like, oh, yo home, like that type of like Southerner.
Proper redneck.
Yeah.
Like.
And in both films, actually, there's a character who's like a campus police officer. So they're on campus. I don't know if they're actually proper policemen or not, but they're just there to kind of make sure everyone's staying out of trouble, essentially. And this guy was just very short and just sounded like Boomhauer from King of the Hill. Like, oh, no. I couldn't understand a fucking word he was saying for like the 3 lines he had. It was just...
I didn't understand why all the authorities were Southern either. It's quite strange, but maybe it's some kind of way of like, I don't know, poking fun at them, because they do that stereotypical kind of, hick or redneck character as like, something to mock in these kind of films.
Yeah, you're not meant to take them seriously. But yeah, I'll just say this, there's not a lot of story development in this film. It's just not much happens. Like, in fairness, in Friday the 13th, not a lot actually happens. If you ignore the murders, it's just a bunch of people at a campsite who are just getting ready for the kids to arrive, and they're, playing around and all this type of stuff. And it's the same in this. There's only one very kind of strange event that happens. It's about 10 minutes into the film. So there is a final exam, which is not the actual final exam, because in the film they talk about, I have another exam the next day. But anyway, the beginning of the film is all about a chemistry exam, which is very random. And the guy in the film who's the head of this fraternity basically doesn't want to do this exam, or he has to get a certain grade to pass and not have to do summer school or whatever. So he cheats. And the way he cheats, I've not seen in any other film. It's actually very bizarre. So if you would like to explain kind of how they managed to cheat in this film.
Yeah, so they, as a joke, and I'm doing finger quotes, joke.
That was a crazy prank, guys.
Yeah, they sort of engineer a mock mass shooting, and all these guys in balaclavas or like, masks or whatever, they roll out of a van and they start shooting people, and it kind of looks real in the film, but then afterwards they know that it's fake, so they pick up the 2 guys that they've apparently shot, again finger quotes, shot, and they pile them into the van, and everybody thinks that this is real. And then they know it's a joke, but they kind of don't really tell anyone that. So somebody calls the sheriff, and then afterwards they have to say, oh no, it was just a joke, it wasn't real. It's part of this hazing fraternity thing, this like gamma,
Yeah, this hilarious prank, mass shooting prank,
yes.
as they do. You can tell it was America. But this is pre-Columbine, because there's no way you'd be able to do this now, definitely.
Absolutely not. I mean, anybody who even did that now would be arrested just for like imposing that onto people.
Yeah, the wacky world of like Ronald Reagan's America of the early 80s.
Yeah, so you get the picture. It's like a lot of jock jerks or whatever, they're all kind of assholes that just all they care about is playing pranks on each other.
Or like there's this one guy, I think his name's Gary, who wants to join this gamma fraternity, so they do this hazing ritual on him where they tie him to a tree, put ice down his pants.
Yeah,
hilarious.
Strip him off. Yeah, and then leave him there. And, of course, that leaves him vulnerable to being killed by a serial killer.
Moving on to the serial killer. So you mentioned him at the start. It's a random guy. In my notes, I've just referred to him as some guy.
Yeah.
That's who he is. He's not given a name.
Stalkery vibes. Stalkery vibes. It's like the typical kind of, I don't know if it's like a hood or you just see the back of his head, I think, and then like gloves or whatever. But that's it, really. He just kind of lurks in the shadows.
Pretty much, yeah. Not given a name, doesn't even wear a mask or anything like that. It's just literally just a guy with a knife who's a bit strong.
Yeah.
And we don't know why he's killing these specific people.
It's not explained, is it?
Which I guess you can make the argument that because it's quote unquote random and unprovoked, it's scarier, but it really isn't at all.
No, it isn't. And there's no like big reveal or anything like that. There's no explanation. It's just kind of like he does this for, well, there's a big gap in the film where he does nothing. And then he comes back, kills lots of people. And then at the end, the final girl gets him. It's like, oh, yay. But nothing really. There's no real consequences or.
No, so that aspect is quite boring. And yeah, the kills, moving on to them, because with a slash film, basically all there is to really talk about is body count. So yeah, the kills themselves, they're mostly bloodless.
Yeah.
They're off screen. So you're waiting for like an hour nearly to get to any kind of bloodshed or whatever. And a lot of it you don't even see. So you don't even get that kind of relief from it. So there really is no reason to watch this in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of creativity with it either. It's like the stereotypical sort of stabbing with a knife slasher. And yeah, that's it really. I mean, I did do the kill count, and 8 people die in this, including the stalker serial killer at the end. But yeah, there's not a lot of surprise here. I mean, it's in different locations, like through the car roof and stuff like that, but not a lot of variety in it, and kind of just predictable, really.
Yeah, the only kind of murder scene that I thought had a little bit to it is bringing him back again. Wildman, like his murder scene was staged a little bit better than the others because he's in this basketball court. It's dark apart from like the scoreboard at the top.
Yeah.
So I had a little bit of atmosphere to it. It's kind of in the dark, and then he gets killed by like a weightlifting machine, I guess.
Yeah, which is very on brand for him as like a sports, as like an athlete.
He's looking for pills. That was another random thing that happened in the film where like, let's sell some pills.
Yeah, they suddenly introduced random drugs into like over halfway into the movie. It's like suddenly this new element like is introduced. And yeah, the bit where the scoreboard like buzzed at the end, like they were out of time, was quite clever after the death. That was the only bit that was like vaguely decent.
Basically, yeah. I mean, the only other one, I guess, is there's the character who's like the quote-unquote slut, not my words. But yeah, like the one who is the friend of the main character, who the main character is jealous of because, her friend is amoral, essentially. Her friend is like, well, I'm just going to use my good looks and try and like, manipulate men to like get what I want in life.
Yeah.
It's like, because apparently men have it really easy, according to this film. So
it's, that bit's pretty cliche and tasteless, and
And like, she is the one who obviously then has the nude scene where she gets naked very randomly. I found that scene quite funny. She's just playing the piano in this empty room. I think she's waiting for this teacher who she's fucking to like arrive. I assume that's what she was doing. And she's just playing the piano in the dark, as you do, turns up and just, well, I guess I'll just put this dressing gown. Took her dress off. She had no underwear on. As you do, again.
Random.
And then, she's just waiting for this teacher to turn up, and then the killer turned up, killed her. There's some blood splatter, which is okay, but nothing
again,
special.
it cuts away, doesn't it? And you just see kind of her legs, like limp legs, and then the blood splatter on it, and it's like, you don't really see much, so.
Yeah. Or even, like, the spoiler for, like, the end of the film and that, but, like, when the killer actually does die, the final girl, Courtney, like, when she batters this guy to death, or sort of to death, with a big plank of wood, and he falls many stories, somehow doesn't die. But that's always the way of these slasher films. Even that is a bit like silly, because this guy, the football coach, turns up with a bow and arrow, which is hilarious. If this was now, he'd have a gun.
That's just so weird. Who brings a bow and arrow?
And like, he tries shooting this guy, and then he gets killed with his own arrow, which is pretty silly. But
bizarre.
And then the end of the film is just this huge kind of metaphor, because Courtney's this like repressed character, and she stabs this guy over and over and over again, penis, that type of thing going on. And that was it, really.
But cheesy as hell, and a lot of like misogynistic stereotypes in this, including like women just kind of sleeping with men to get what they want, and that whole bit about where she eats spaghetti and then she says she wishes she had a salad. I was like, what the hell are they?
I forgot about
Why are they implying that? It's just like, shut up. It's so random.
It's the early 80s. Like, you kind of have to take this for what it is. But it's just very of its time, shall we say. I don't think it's meant to be taken that seriously. The people who made this film clearly were just trying to make some dodgy sort of rip-off of Halloween. And it does rip off Halloween a couple of times. There's one very particular sequence where they're ripping off sort of where Laurie Strode is in her room and Michael Myers is just in the background, like, outside. They do that with some guy in the film. And it's just... And even the last 15 minutes, I think, is a rip-off of the last 15 minutes of Halloween, where she's running away. And
did you catch that bit where he stabbed the guy with the bow and arrow, with the arrow, and then the killer catches it like he's Mr. Miyagi or something? It's like, what the fuck? It's like it flies towards her and he catches it with his bare hand. It's like, what?
Yeah, that was very silly. We're both on Letterboxd. As you guys will know, if you listen to the show regularly. So myself and Ria have rated this film on Letterboxd. So drum roll, please. What do you guys think that Ria rated this film? I'll give you a second. So
1.5 stars.
1.5 stars. Classic.
How many did you give it, Greg?
So I gave it a massive 2 out of 5.
Oh, wow. Staggering.
It's bad, but I have seen worse.
I mean, it's kind of one of those conveyor belt mass-produced slasher movies. It's what you would expect from the 80s. It's not particularly good.
No. And, well, let's ask a very silly question. Should this have been a video nasty, guys? Considering there was very little blood.
I don't think so. You don't see a lot of the killings.
No, I have no idea how this would have even been under consideration. I think this is just evidence that they were just, is this a slasher? Yes, let's just put it on the list. Although, weird bit of trivia. So, at the end of the film, Courtney stabs this guy 12 times. It was meant to be 18 times, but the MPAA in America were going to give this film an X rating because she stabbed him 18 times. So they said, well, let's do it 12 times instead. And then it was R rated.
so much better.
It's just like, yeah, this huge difference. Yeah, fuck, can't have him stabbed that many times. So yeah, crazy.
What a weird logic. Anyway,
yeah, it's not like ratings boards or like make a lot of sense with these things. So not a great film. Not really recommended by me, not recommended by Ria.
No.
Weird side note, this film somehow made over $1 million at the box office and would have been number 7 in the charts. So apparently a lot of people went to see this.
Unbelievable.
Back in the day.
Well, there wasn't as much choice back then. So that's probably why.
It's 1981, so it's just like, what slasher film are we going to watch today?
I could imagine it being one of those typical American, like, drive-in, like, Saturday night date movie type things. I guess that's why. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. The only other thing I'll say, it has been suggested that Radish is kind of like a precursor to like Randy from the Scream films because he's like a horror nerd and he's got like a poster of the Toolbox Murders in his room and he knows about serial killers and that.
He had some quite cool posters in his room, actually. I spotted another couple. There was like Corpse Grinders, which is a 1971 B movie.
Yeah.
He had the Helter Skelter Charles Manson book on his like bedside table.
Yeah.
And there was another movie as well, Murder Is My Beat, which is a 1955 movie. So it's a pretty cool posters.
Yeah. And it's not too overplayed, I would say, him kind of knowing about stuff. Yes, he does talk about kind of, there was this serial killer. He has a great line as well, which, I mean, just at one point he says, people are killed every day for no reason at all. Which I think is quite prescient given events of the last few days as we're recording this, don't you think?
Yeah.
So, I'll say no more than that.
Yeah, shootings as well.
Mass shootings at a school.
Very current. But yeah, Radish, what a what a legend that guy is.
Yeah, and I think if the characters had been a bit more developed like he was, maybe this would have been a better film.
Yeah.
According to Wikipedia, one critic said that this was better than Halloween. I don't know what that guy was watching. He certainly wasn't watching this. I'll just say that. But if you are that guy... that random critic, or, you do want to watch this, there's actually not that many options to watch it. What a shame.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch this on streaming, in America, it's available on a service called Philo, whatever that is. Philo Pastry, maybe.
I've never heard of Philo, but yeah.
In Spain, it's available on Prime Video and Film In. And in Germany and Austria, it's available from a service called Frenatic.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Okay.
That's how you would watch it.
Can't get it on Blu-ray?
You can get it on Blu-ray as well. So you can get it on Blu-ray in America from Shout Factory and again in Austria from a company called Shock Entertainment. So not available in the UK. What a shame. We can't buy it if we wanted to.
I'm guessing you won't be adding that to your library.
No, I don't think 88 Films in their slasher collection or Arrow, I think, are gagging to add this anytime soon. So, yeah. That one is not recommended. I'll just say that. Just a bit of a boring one.